We got really good work done. We basically repeated yesterday's practice, but with full speed. Mother Nature cooperated. The weather is beautiful. We got a lot of really good work done right now. We're getting a presentation explaining Gaelic games to us. They're going to show us how they do it. So it's been good. I think the guys have had a good experience. The hotel's been unbelievable. The GAA's been unbelievable. And we're excited to get out there and play.
Has it been a lot of fun for everybody? You talked about the business trip, but have you seen everybody having a good time?
Yeah, yes, it's been fun, but it's been meetings and it's been practice. The food's been excellent. The hotel's been great. I think the guys appreciate the change of pace. I do think that, but it's been a business trip really for us.
Are you back into kind of normal game week mode now after yesterday's walkthrough?
Yes,
and
exactly.
Are you guys prepared? I mean, where are you? Are you where you need to be going into this game, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I feel good about it. We'll have a dinner tonight and kind of have a team function. Friday we'll have our normal Friday walkthrough and meetings. And like normally be at the hotel and have all our offense, defense, special teams meetings. And then get up on Saturday and get ready to play. So feel good about it.
Interacted with any Irish that try to understand the game of football or don't understand the rules or trying to explain to them? Do you think they get what they're going to see?
I would assume that people that are coming to the game are fans of the game or just want to experience it. But no, I haven't had time to coach up the Irish about our game. I just hope they come out and enjoy it. I know how much pride they take in their games, and this is obviously our game. This is a truly American game, which we love. So excited to be able to go out there and enjoy it with them.
James, is wind a factor at all in the stadium?
None.
Okay.
None.
Will you guys do a walkthrough over there at all? I know UCF is. Will you do a walkthrough over there as well?
No, we don't usually do walkthroughs at the stadium. I like to try to...
They're happy they're not doing a walkthrough.
Yeah. I like to control environments, so we don't typically walk through in other people's stadiums and things like that. So we won't do that. I think the fact that we got to check out the stadium the other day, that was good enough.
James, from what you've seen on film, what makes it the largest difference?
Well, I think the biggest thing is they got 9 guys returning from a team that won 12 games. So they got experience, they got confidence. They know how to win, and I think more than anything else, they play sound and they play fast. They're very, not going to find very often where they're misaligned or out leveraged, and then they've done a great job of recruiting and developing, and they play fast. So when you get 9 guys returning from a team that won 12 games, and I think you look at what they did against Baylor, one of the highest scoring offenses in the country, what they did last year. So they have a lot of confidence.
Was there any talk about from the guys returning about what happened last year, that they came in and beat them in their own stadium, beat you guys in their own stadium, even though you weren't here?
No.
James, do you feel good about, you talked about you and Coach Hand trying to identify the 5 offensive linemen you want for this game. You feel good about that process and where the offensive line is at?
I do. I think we've done a great job. The kids have worked extremely hard. We're doing some things in the way we're calling the game and things like that to try to help them. If you help them, you're helping Hack, and that's really what we're trying to do. Get the ball into our playmakers' hands. We got to be smart because I think when you have a quarterback like Hack, you say you want to throw the ball, but to help him out for a lot of different reasons, we got to be able to run the ball, and we got to commit to the running game, and we got to be able to protect them. So we got to call the game to help the O-line and to put Hack in position to be successful.
You've been a head coach 4 years. The last 3 now, you've played a pretty tough opponent in the first game. The first year you played a lesser opponent, let's say. Would you prefer to kind of ease into the season more kind of with something, or do you like kind of jumping right into head first here?
I don't know if there's one best way to do it. I always studied what Coach Snyder did at Kansas State, and he built that program and had a lot of success with a specific model, which I think makes sense. I do think there's some advantages playing a big opponent the first game of the year to get the guys juiced up and excited and off-season training and things like that. So there's a lot of ways to be right, and we're just going to embrace the situation that we have right now, which is opening with Central Florida, and we're excited about the opportunity. But I think there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Hey, James, has anybody turned your head in practice this week when you consider you guys worked out, at State College and here? Just someone maybe it surprised you?
No one's really jumped out any more than guys that have jumped out all camp and guys that have earned starting jobs and things like that. It's not like when we came up, we had a walkthrough yesterday and today was one practice, so it's not like they even had the opportunity to jump out. I hope people jump out on Saturday. But nothing's really changed since we left state college.
I talked to a guy at Croke Park this morning. He said that he's worked at the stadium for 3 years, but he's never stepped onto the field because of the importance of the culture for this entire country. And you guys have been focused on yourself a lot, but have you taken a moment to kind of realize, at least for the people who live here, what it means to get to play in Croke Park?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about it. We had some really interesting conversations, too, with some people about the stadium and the history and how they had never played soccer in the stadium, and then how they tore the soccer stadium down a couple years ago and rebuilt it. It took 2 years, so this soccer team came in and played for the first time in that stadium. So I thought that was really interesting. Like I mentioned the other day, the size of the field compared to ours is unbelievable, but there's no doubt that's a national treasure for them. Sports are very, very important in this country, so yeah, I think the whole thing has been surreal in a lot of ways. But we think about history in our country, and we're thinking, what, 200 years? You talk about history in Europe, places like Ireland. It's on a whole nother level, so it's impressive.
From your fan standpoint, most of us on our flights over here, tons of Penn State people on all the planes.
There was a bunch of Penn State people on our plane, too.
Yeah, exactly. What does that tell you? What about your fan base, that they're going to come out here and all this way and support the team all over?
I think it's impressive. I mean, you guys have heard me say before, you got the spring game with 72,000 people. You play a game in Ireland, and you have a huge support of fans and alumni coming out to be with the guys. I think that, what makes Penn State special and always will is the people. And, that's never going to change. And we plan on it only getting stronger from here on out. And I think that's what differentiates any business, any corporation, any organization, any team is the people. And Penn State has had unbelievable support with the university and unbelievable support with athletics and specifically football for a long time. And we want that to continue. We want to put a product on the field on Saturday that all these people that have rallied behind us can be really proud of.
You've been here a day and a half. Logistically, have things been smooth, and have there been any hiccups, maybe things you didn't expect along the way?
Yeah, I think our administrative staff did a great job of having everything planned out, from the flights to the hotel to the food to the practice venues. But there's always a few things that come up that you jot down. That's what I'm constantly doing at practice, jotting down notes of things that we would do better next year if we're going to be in this, or for bowl trips and things like that, things that we need to be aware of or make sure we have in our manual that we can learn from. But that's every day. No matter what we do, we're always taking notes down about what we can do better and how we can make the experience better for the kids.
Were you able to buy a toothbrush?
Yeah, well, I actually had. I think I was misunderstood. I actually packed a toothbrush, but we went right from the airport. We never went to the hotel. We went right from the airport to practice. So I had a toothbrush. We never saw our luggage. We came right to the stadium, and we flew overnight. What I meant is I should have packed a toothbrush for the airplane, so I could have brushed my teeth in the morning, and that scared you guys all.
On bowl games, a lot of times players get some free time on their own. I'm assuming you're not able to do that here, to let them do anything kind of.
This is a game. This is a game. This is a game against Central Florida that happens to be in Ireland. So that's kind of the plan. Things like they're doing right now. There's some unique things that we want them to experience when it comes to Ireland. But more than anything, it was a time to get away with a change of pace with our family and go from there. But this is not a bowl game. This is a game against Central Florida, our opening game of the season.
I think you said on the radio that your wife asked you, not really. Now that you're so much closer to this game, is there a little bit of that finally we're here to this first game from your perspective more than the team?
Well, I think every day it gets closer. There's more anticipation. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not a guy that starts getting excited until the morning of the game. I usually sleep very well the night before the game. And when I wake up that morning, then I start to kind of get a little bit more the butterflies. In the locker room, I get the butterflies and things like that. But before that, there's still things like from today that we got to get cleaned up. That's on our mind. Until those things are done, that's where my focus is if that makes sense.
Are you impressed with your hotels? A lot of your players are, just by Twitter.
The hotel's been unbelievable. How they've treated us, the food. I was concerned about the food because a lot of times when you go to different countries, the players, Donovan Smith said, the first day he's like, they got a Domino's here. I'm like, no, I don't think they have a Domino's here. Eat that chicken, But the food's been awesome, and the service has been great, and the hospitality has been great. My family got in today, which was today Thursday. So my family got in about a couple hours ago, so that was cool. Get a chance to see them, so it's been good.
James, I saw a video of one of your daughters attacking a blocking sled earlier this week. Were you aware that she's that ferocious? That was pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, my oldest is a psycho. Yeah, she's a psycho. She's been that way since she came out. So she enjoys it. She loves the football guys, and she mimics what she sees from the guys, her big brothers.
Coach, how hard is this trip made recruiting? What did you guys have to do differently that you would do, of course, at home? Has it changed a lot?
I'm sorry?
What did you guys have to do differently with recruiting since you're over here with phone calls and messages and all that?
Well, we're not allowed to make phone calls this time of year anyway, so it's just writing letters and mails, direct message, and things like that. It hasn't changed a whole lot. Obviously this country doesn't produce a whole lot of Division I athletes, so that hasn't been helpful. But no, it really didn't limit us because we really couldn't do anything at this time of year anyway.
Okay, one more.
Or no more. Thanks guys.